Right. So we're diving deep today into Local Woman Missing by Mary Kubica.
Oh, this one.
Yeah.
This one's good.
So good.
Be good.
If you want a chilling look at, like, the dark secrets under the surface of, those perfect suburbs,
Right.
this is the book.
Yeah.
So 2 women and a little girl vanish from a seemingly perfect neighborhood.
Right.
And then 11 years later, the girl reappears.
Kubica takes this, like, picture-perfect community, throws a grenade right in the middle of it, and bam, everyone's a suspect. You can't trust anyone.
Right. And so let's talk about that trust, right?
Yeah.
Before these disappearances, it's like, close-knit, almost utopian, right?
Right.
You know each other's names, kids playing in the streets.
Yeah.
You can borrow a cup of sugar, no problem.
Yeah.
But then these disappearances happen, and everything changes.
Everything changes. And it's not just that people become suspicious of each other,
Right.
which they totally do, but it's like it shakes the foundation of the whole community.
Yeah.
Like, is it really as safe and secure as we want to believe?
Right. Are those idyllic neighborhoods really that idyllic?
Right.
Right. And I like how she, like, reveals the cracks in that facade slowly.
Yeah.
Like Meredith Dickey,
Oh, yeah.
one of the missing women.
Right.
At first, she's, suburban bliss,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, the perfect mom, the perfect wife.
Active in the community.
Yeah.
But then as we go on, we see this darkness, these secrets
Right.
she's hiding.
Yeah, and she doesn't just tell us, she shows us.
Yeah.
Like, in all these little details, like, there's that scene where Meredith's having coffee with her friend Kate.
Oh, yeah.
And she sees her husband Leo staring at another woman. But instead of saying anything, she just pretends not to notice.
Right.
And then later she makes up this whole lie about why he was doing that.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And it's like that little moment tells you so much about the lies under the surface of that perfect marriage.
Yeah.
Right. And that's just one example.
Right.
Of how she uses these little clues to make you doubt everything.
Totally. Yeah.
To start questioning everything, just like the characters.
Yeah.
And that brings us to one of her most effective techniques, I think. The unreliable narrator.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, huh?
Multiple perspectives throughout the book, and you're never really sure who you can trust.
Right. Yeah.
So for those who aren't familiar, an unreliable narrator is basically a character telling the story from their point of view.
Right.
But you can't fully believe what they're saying.
Right.
They might be withholding information, misinterpreting events, even lying.
Yeah.
To us, the readers.
Right.
And in this book, almost every character is unreliable to some extent.
Right.
Even Delilah, the girl that comes back.
Yeah, she only gives us these little pieces of what happened to her. So we're stuck putting together the puzzle, but with, like, missing pieces, and some of them might be from a totally different puzzle.
Right. It's so frustrating, but it keeps you hooked.
Yeah, and it's like what the characters are going through, too. They're trying to figure out this mess with incomplete information.
Yeah.
And it's like Kubica is saying that none of us have the full picture.
Right.
We have to be careful about the stories we tell ourselves.
That's powerful. And that connects to, like, the theme of trauma, which is huge in this book.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about the trauma of a disappearances.
Yeah.
Right, how it breaks that community's sense of safety.
Yeah.
But there's also the individual trauma each character carries.
Right.
And Kubica doesn't shy away from that, from showing the effects, especially with Delilah.
No, not at all. You see the scars, even though you don't know everything that happened yet.
Yeah.
You know it's messed her up, both physically and emotionally.
Yeah, she's clearly struggling with what happened. And her return just makes it worse.
Yeah.
It's like she's thrown back into this world that isn't safe anymore.
Right.
Doesn't feel familiar.
Right.
And it's interesting how Kubica shows the community's reaction
Oh, yeah.
to Delilah coming back.
They want answers.
They want answers.
They want closure.
Closure.
But they're also not really comfortable with how messed up she is.
Right.
Like, they want her to just go back to normal.
Yeah, just snap out of it.
Right. But that's just not possible.
Makes me think about how we, as a society, avoid those hard truths
Yeah.
about trauma.
Yeah.
We want easy answers,
Yeah.
quick fixes.
Right.
But it's not that simple.
No, it's a long process.
Right. And Kubica makes us sit with that,
Yeah.
with that discomfort,
Yeah.
with that reality of what these characters are going through.
Yeah, and she doesn't give us any easy answers.
No.
Just leaves us with these big questions about trauma, resilience, rebuilding trust.
So we've talked about trust, trauma, unreliable narrators.
Yeah.
But there's another layer I find really interesting.
Okay.
Motherhood.
Oh, yeah.
Protection.
Yeah.
Both Meredith and Shelby, the other missing woman, are mothers.
Right.
And their actions are driven by this deep desire to protect their children.
Yeah, and it's not just simple instinctive love.
Right.
She shows how motherhood is complicated.
Yeah.
It can give you incredible strength, but also make you do questionable things.
Right. Like when Meredith finds out her son Leo has been bullying another kid.
Oh, yeah.
She's horrified.
Yeah.
But instead of, dealing with it head on, she tries to cover it up, protect him from the consequences.
Right. And it's like she blurs those lines between right and wrong.
Yeah.
You get why she's doing it.
Yeah.
She loves her son.
Yeah.
But is it really the right thing?
Right. Is she helping or hurting him?
Exactly.
It's such a gray area.
Yeah.
It makes you question your own judgments.
Yeah.
Like, how far would we go
to
protect the people we love?
Yeah.
Where's that line between love and, enabling bad behavior?
Right. And she doesn't tell us.
No.
She gives us these situations and lets us figure it out.
Yeah.
For ourselves. Makes you think, like, what would I do in that situation?
Right. And she doesn't just explore that with Meredith.
Yeah.
There's Kate, Meredith's friend.
Right.
She's got an adopted son, Leo.
Yeah. And their relationship, it's not good.
No, strained.
Lots of resentment, pain, all unspoken.
Yeah. Such a contrast to Meredith and her son.
Right. And that's what's so great. Kubica shows us there's no one right way to be a mother.
Yeah. So many different forms of love and protection.
Right. And they don't always look pretty.
Right. Exactly. And then there's Shelby.
Oh, yeah.
The other missing woman.
Single mom, struggling to make ends meet.
Yeah.
You can just feel how much she wants to protect her daughter.
So fierce.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder, did that pressure of being a single mom in this community, that's all about appearances?
Right.
Does that play a role in her disappearing?
Definitely makes you think. And it brings us to another thing, the setting.
Yeah.
The suburb. It's almost like a character itself, right?
Yeah, representing that whole facade.
Yeah, the happiness, the success. Everyone's trying so hard for it.
Yeah, but underneath, there's this tension, right?
Yeah, anxieties, competition, and like we said, those dark secrets.
Like she's saying, even in these perfect places, right? With the white picket fences and all that.
Right.
There's always something hidden. I mean, think about your own neighborhood.
Yeah.
Ever wonder what's going on behind closed doors?
Right.
What secrets your neighbors are keeping?
Ooh, yeah, creepy.
Right, and she plays with that unease the whole time.
She does. Uses those vivid descriptions, right?
Yeah.
The perfect lawns, the big houses, the quiet streets.
Yeah, yeah.
But it creates this atmosphere of beauty, but also danger.
Yeah, like beauty can be a mask.
Right.
Even the nicest places can hide something dark.
Absolutely.
One thing that got me were the plot twists. You think you figured it out, and then, bam.
Totally.
Something new changes everything.
She keeps you guessing the whole time.
Absolutely. Kubica, master of suspense.
Yeah.
And she uses those twists not just for shock value, but to show us what the characters are feeling.
Right. Like they're confused, disoriented.
Yeah, constantly thrown off balance.
Just like us readers.
There was this one part, I don't want to spoil anything, but it involved, redacted to avoid spoilers.
Yeah.
I literally gasped.
No way.
Yeah, my whole understanding of this character flipped.
Wow.
Made me realize how she'd been playing me all along.
Yeah.
Dropping those little hints. So subtle.
That's what's so good, right? You think you're in control, following along, but she's the one in charge.
Right.
Pulling the strings.
Like a puppet master.
Yeah.
Right.
Keeps us guessing till the very end.
Speaking of, did you like the ending? I know some people felt it left too much open.
Yeah, I can see that. It's not everything tied up in a bow, that's for sure. But for me, that's what makes it powerful.
Yeah.
It's like real life. Messy. Sometimes there are no easy answers.
Right. You have to live with the uncertainty.
Yeah. And it makes us think about our own need for closure.
Okay.
Right? We want it all to make sense. Bad guys punished, victims at peace.
Yeah. Happily ever after.
Right. But that's not always how it goes.
No.
And I think Kubica wants us to accept that complexity, those uncomfortable truths about us, about these communities that seem so perfect.
So, having gone deep into local woman missing.
Yeah.
What's the big takeaway? What's she trying to tell us?
I think she's saying Question everything. Don't take things at face value. Look deeper. Trust your gut.
Okay, yeah.
Those idyllic towns, the perfect families, they might be hiding something worse than you can imagine, and the people you think you know, even the closest ones, could be capable of anything.
Ooh, that's both scary and intriguing.
Right.
Makes me want to reread it and see what I missed the first time.
I bet. That's the mark of good suspense.
Yeah.
It stays with you. Makes you question everything.
Well, we've covered a lot today in our deep dive. Trust, trauma, those unreliable narrators, motherhood, suburbia, all of it.
It's been quite a ride.
Absolutely. And I think we've only scratched the surface.
Oh, yeah. There's so much more to unpack.
So much. So we encourage you, pick up Local Woman Missing, see for yourself. You might be surprised. Before we wrap up, though, one last thought. Imagine yourself in that situation. The perfect community, disappearances, everyone's suspicious. Who would you trust?
That is the question, isn't it? The book makes you face that over and over. Like we said, appearances deceive.
Right.
People surprise you.
And going back to those suburbs, the ones we talked about, the nice lawns, friendly faces, is there something inherently, like, vulnerable about that kind of place? Or is it just us? Like, we're all capable of darkness no matter where we live.
It's a tough one. I think it's a bit of both, you know?
Okay.
On one hand, those communities, there's this pressure to keep up that perfect image.
Yeah, like everyone's putting on a show.
Exactly. Keeping up with the Joneses, all that. And that breeds secrets, lies.
Because no one wants to admit their life's not perfect.
Right.
If everyone else is pretending.
Makes it hard to ask for help, to speak up when something's wrong.
The more perfect everyone pretends to be,
the harder it is to break free.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's fair to say all suburbs are like that.
Right.
Some places, people genuinely care. Strong communities.
So maybe Kubi is not just talking about suburbia, but about people in general?
Yeah, I think so. We all have secrets, weaknesses, good and bad in us.
And those moments, the tough choices, that's what shows who we are.
Very well said. This book, it's not just a thriller, it's about choices, consequences, and hope, even when things are really dark.
And it shows, even when things are bad, trust is broken, the world feels like it's ending.
Yeah.
There's still a chance for good things, healing, coming back together.
Beautifully put. That's what I want our listeners to take away. This book, it's unsettling, but it's about how strong we are, how we can always hope.
So if you want a book that'll keep you guessing, make you look at your neighbors differently, and make you think about what it means to be human, Local Woman Missing, it's worth your time.
Absolutely.
And remember, next time you're in your neighborhood, walking around, take a look. You never know what's going on behind those doors.
True that.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We'll see you next time for more book talk.
See you then.
Happy reading.